Alright, so before I start this video, I got a package, so I just have to share. So I just got this package from Cuts. This is my summer haul, and I just want to share it with you. First up, Cuts bucket hat with a subtle branding in the back, per usual. Next, just in time for my next bachelor party, I got their new 5-inch swim trunks in this cool Nimbus colorway. Super dope. Then I got their ivory universal crew with the curve at the bottom, my favorite fit. And finally, because Cuts Women is super fire, I got a present for my girlfriend. As you know, I really love this brand and I would love to share that with you guys. So if you want to use my discount code for 15% off, use the code Abeleda at checkout. And now back to the video. Peace. What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Chris. Welcome back to my channel. Somebody told me in my last video that my intro was too long, so this time I'm gonna make it real quick. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Chris Abeleda and I am a producer, musician, and music video filmmaker. There we go. And you're here for Tutorial Tuesday, where I go over music making tips and tricks in just 10 minutes or less. Today, I'll be showing you how to mix pro-level pop vocals in just 10 minutes or less with my go-to vocal chain. Now, this will always be a really good baseline for whatever song you're mixing, and then you can just adjust it to taste based on whatever you want the vibe to be. But if you want that clear, transparent, and upfront vocal sound that you hear on the radio, like with a Charlie Puth, Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran, Camila Cabello, or any of those other really big pop artists, this is a really good start. Before we get into the full video, if you just took 2 seconds to quickly like this video down below, that would be super amazing, and I'd really appreciate it. It helped me out a lot. Now that you've liked this video, thank you, we can get started. So timer on the clock and go. Per usual, you can use this chain in any DAW, but since I work in Logic, that's what I'm rocking with today. So industry standard pop vocals typically revolve around this basic chain, and then any additional flavors it mix to taste depending on what the vision and vibe is for the record. So this is going to be the chain in order, and the order is very important because whatever the sound passes through is fed into the next plugin and will affect how that plugin will react to the sound. Here's the vocal we're working with today.
There she go, that's my baby. Never met a girl that I ever thought could change me. Until you came into my life and opened my eyes. Seconds turn to hours passing by when you're by my side.
All right, so that's the vocal we're working with today, and that is just a very raw take of that vocal. So step number 1 is pitch correction. Yes, 99% of your favorite songs and artists use some type of pitch correction, not because they can't sing, but because it adds a certain polish that has become a standard sound for music today. Now you can use a stock pitch corrector, but I use auto-tune, but just use whatever you have available. First things first, be sure to dial in the key of your song and keep the retune speed relatively slow. We just want mild correction and not a really T-Pain sound effect. But if you want that, then you can go ahead and crank up that retune speed. So you can see here, A major is the key of the song we're working with. So once you go to auto-tune, turn that on, you can see the key is in A major, and I have it matching the vocalist voice, which is my voice, and I'm a tenor. So there you go. And the retune speed is right here at 38, right in the middle. Again, if you want that T-Pain sound, you're going to crank that all the way up.
There she go, that's my baby.
But we are not going for that sound, so we want it to sound relatively normal and untouched. And if you don't know the key of your song, just head over to TuneBat and upload your instrumental, and it will tell you the key of your song. So before the auto-tune,
there she go, that's my baby. Never met a girl that I ever thought could change me.
And with it, you can barely tell.
There she go, that's my baby. Never met a girl that I ever thought could change me.
Cool, so nice and polished, all right? Plugin number 2 is Subtractive EQ, all right? So next you want to use a very clear and transparent EQ that doesn't change the tone of the vocal. We just want to sweep through and find those unwanted frequencies, and after a while, you'll start to get used to which frequencies are pretty much going to cause the most problems almost universally. For example, I always add a low cut filter around 100 hertz or so, depending on the vocalist. I essentially start my sweep right around 200 hertz and slowly decrease until I can't even notice a difference in the sound of the vocal.
Girl that I
You can
ever
see
thought
that this
could
affects the
change me,
vocal.
until you came into my life and opened my eyes. Seconds turn to hours passing by when you're by my side. There she goes.
And now you can't tell it's there. This gets rid of a lot of the low rumble or air, and it also creates space in the mix for that frequency range for something like the bass or the kick. And then you just sweep through looking for frequencies that maybe muddy up the vocal or make it sound a bit harsh. And once you do that a million times, you'll start to find where the mud or woofiness is, like right here in the 500 to 800 range, and some of the harshness around the 2K to 4K range, etc. And as a rule of thumb, I always start with a -3 to -6 dB cut, and then I'll go from there. So I will literally take this, put it all the way up, and just search.
There she go, that's my baby. Never met a girl that I ever thought could change me, until you came into my life.
And you can hear the harshness of 2K, so then I just drop that to about -6.
There she go, that's my baby. Never.
And I do that for whichever frequencies I feel like I need to cut. So before.
There she go, that's my baby. Never met a girl that I ever thought could change me. There she go, that's my baby. Never met a girl that I ever thought could change me.
Now everything's very subtle, so you may not notice it unless you have some studio headphones on or you're listening to it on a monitor. But these moves are not meant to create a drastic change all at once. They're meant to add up over time and then create a polished vocal, all right? Moving on to plugin number 3, de-essing. So I use a de-esser early in the plugin chain because I want to make sure anything that is sent into my compressors, into my other EQ, into my effects is already clean and is already rid of any frequencies that I don't want. So you can use any de-esser tool for this, but removing sibilants or the sounds is very important because, well, it literally hurts your ears. This typically lives within the 6 to 8K range, so just listen to it and try to get a nice -3 to -6 reduction depending on what's needed. Now really pay attention to the S's here, or the ch, or the s, any of those sounds, all right? Before.
There she go, that's my baby. Never met a girl that I ever thought could change me, until. There she go, that's my baby. Never met a girl that I ever thought could change me.
Number 4 is compression. So compression is the tool that makes industry records sound pro. It evens out the levels and gets the vocal to sit nicely and shine through the mix. Now the best practice typically is to use 2 compressors because you just don't want one doing all the work. It won't sound as good and it will be tough on your computer. Now a very common duo is the 1176 and the LA2A. There are a bunch of emulations of these. I use the plugins by Waves Audio, but if you're running stock in Logic, then the 1176 is the vintage FET and the LA2A is the vintage Opto. And if you use another DAW, then just look up the models and the emulations that they have. Now you can experiment, but really you're going to want to use them in that specific order. The 1176 works quick and catches the peaks of the vocals whenever it gets really loud. And the LA2A works as a great overall compression that just gives the vocal a lot of body and a lot of thickness. So here's the 1176 by itself, and I'm only getting around a -2 to 3 gain reduction here. That's all I want. Just a nice quick catch of those peaks and to put them down. So without it.
There she go, that's my baby. Never met a girl that I ever thought could change me. Until you came into my life and opened my eyes. Seconds turn to hours passing by when you're by my side.
Alright, and then adding the LA2A on top to just give it a nice body and thickness. So here's without it.
There she go, that's my baby. Never met.
And with it, again, I'm only going for a -2 to -3 gain reduction.
There she go, that's my baby. Never.
Do that again.
There she go, that's my baby. Never. There she go, that's my baby. Never met a.
So you can see right away that this really adds that thickness and forwardness, if that's a word, of the vocal. So here's the full pass.
There she go, that's my baby. Never met a girl that I ever thought could change me. Until you came into my life and opened my eyes. Seconds turn to hours passing by when you're by my side.
Finally, additive EQ. So here you can really help shape the tone and sound of your vocal. I like to use an EQ with color, so quite the opposite of the transparent and unnoticeable EQ that we used in the subtractive EQ phase. I usually go to the Renaissance EQ by Waves, but Logic has their own set of vintage EQs that emulate classic equalizers. And if you see vintage anywhere, it basically means that there's some type of retro sound or color that it adds, which I really love. So typically here you're going to be boosting frequencies you like and that make the vocal sound clear and present. I almost always have a high shelf at around 10K right here just to give it some air or brightness to the vocal, and the rest is just depending on the song, and I do a little bit more subtractive EQ if necessary. So here's without it.
There she go, that's my baby. Never met a girl that I ever thought could change me. Until you came into my life and opened my eyes. Seconds turn to hours passing by when you're by my side.
From there, any effects like reverb or delay should be added as a send. Right click it first and make sure it is post pan or post fader, whatever you prefer, as long as it says post. So this sends the nicely polished audio that you just created to a separate auxiliary track where it then gets affected by a reverb or delay, and then you mix that back in to where you like it. It's just way easier to control that way rather than doing something like slapping on a reverb at the end of your chain like this. Plus, like I said, the next plugin is affected by the previous one, so you don't want a reverbed vocal going into a delay plugin because that would just sound pretty crazy. So for this particular vocal, I have a reverb, I have a saturation plugin, a delay, and parallel compression going on. I'm going to turn all those on, but I'm just going to use the first send as the example for you to see what it does. So I have the reverb. Always set the mix to 100% on your send track. I'll turn it on, set it to 0, and then I'll mix it in so you can start to hear how you can use sends to affect your vocal with these fancy effects.
There she go, that's my baby. Never met a girl that I ever thought could change me. Until you came into my life and opened my eyes. There she go, that's my baby. Never met a girl that I ever thought could change me. Until you came into my life and opened my eyes.
And right there, sounds good to me. And to wrap it all up, I'll take all the tracks, the main strip, plus the aux sends. I'll select them all, and I'll make sure they're all routed to a final bus master Vox channel. Because if I have it like here, where I have takes on multiple channels, plus I have all of these sends, I want to be able to control all of that audio in the end with a single strip. All right, so now I can really mix in the vocals to the music with just one strip.
There she go, that's my baby. That I ever thought could change me. Until you came.
And here you can get away with just a final EQ and compression. I like RVox for my compressor on the master vocal bus. I stole that from Jonas Blue. And then I add some other things like saturation if I want, but that's totally up to you. So at minimum, here's an RVOCS compressor. For this one, I added another compressor, and then this Greg Wells tone-centric plugin that I really like. And altogether, sounds like this.
There she go, that's my baby. Never met a girl that I ever thought could change me. Until you came into my life and opened my eyes. Seconds turn to hours passing by when you're by my side. Even though we fight sometimes, I'm always here. Anytime you cry, no, I will wipe your tears. No matter if you're near or far, you got my heart. No, we'll never fall apart, 'cause I always knew we'd make it far.
And that's it, a basic breakdown of pop vocals in just 10 minutes. Let me know in the comments if you want a more in-depth tutorial about any of these steps. If you liked this video and you like this kind of content and want to see more of it, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell, and if you didn't already, please hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. But until next time, it's your boy Chris. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.